Hello, everybody. We're here with
Miss Yummy Face.
AKA Curious about Vietnam.
Yes.
So, okay,
Okay.
before the millions of views all over social media, I feel you're like millions now, right? 10 millions? 20 million?
20 million about what?
Views total on every platform.
I don't count. I don't know. Like probably
Probably
because
20.
probably I'm not even sure.
Are you on TikTok? You're on TikTok.
I'm on TikTok as well.
You're on
I
IG and Facebook. And YouTube.
everywhere.
Omnipresent.
Yes.
What's your biggest platform? Facebook.
Instagram.
Really?
Instagram.
I thought it was on Facebook, no?
No. Facebook is only 70,000, but Instagram is 122 now.
Okay.
And yeah, that's
a
insane.
lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Probably, I mean, in the end of my life, I probably don't know that much.
Do you get stopped on the street? You're like, wait, I know you.
If I'm in Hanoi and in the
Hanoi.
Old Quarter, yes, I'm probably cannot get away of going to Old Quarter and not recognize a couple times. Yeah.
Okay, let's.
Because Hanoi is small, by the way, very small.
Interesting. But let's slow it down. I can feel you a little nervous. Let's take a breather.
Yeah, I tell Peter that I'm so not ready for this, but I'm gonna do it anyway because.
It's a Broke the Habit exclusive.
Yes, and also it's kind of like the way I do things. Whenever I catch myself saying Lila, probably not. Like, oh, I'm so afraid of doing it. And then I would try my best and I'm gonna say, let's do it.
Growing up as a kid, where was your hometown?
So born and raised in central Vietnam.
Huế.
No, from Huế
Miền
to
Trung.
Hanoi. Miền Trung, yeah. Huế and Hanoi is my hometown is right in the middle, 7-hour train ride from Hanoi down south.
What's the city called?
It's kind of I'm always trying to make things. So
you try to dumb it down for how the Western people can understand.
I always try to say that I'm born in the middle of nowhere, where it's dog eat rocks and chicken eat gravels.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means?
No.
It means in Vietnamese it means chó ăn đá, gà ăn sỏi. I mean, where I born is so poor, nothing happened.
Interesting. But what's the city called?
Hà Tĩnh. It's not even city. The province itself is called Hà Tĩnh, but it's my hometown. It's like very, very small town.
It's not even a city?
It's not even a city. It's a village.
It's not even on the map? What do you mean?
I think it's on the map. Everything is on the map these days. But it's very small town. I born in a mud hut, by the way.
Wow.
I literally born in a mud hut.
So how long were you there in your childhood?
17 years.
17 years in Hà
Tĩnh? Yeah, in the village. Yeah, born and raised.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So how's that growing up there, 0 to 17?
It wasn't. I don't know. I feel like as a kid, you don't have a lot of perspective to judging about what's going on. As life is more simple. The thing you enjoy is more simple. It's about food and friends that you hang out. But my mom had me when she's 21. And by the time she's 27, she basically a single mother raising 2 kids, me and my sister.
I was going to say, where's your dad in the picture?
My dad was in the picture until I'm 6 years old, and he decided that life is too hard. Life was too hard where we are. So he had to go somewhere. So he decided to be immigrant in Europe for 23 years.
So he just left the family?
He had to leave the family. But he didn't leave us behind. He just go
to support.
Gotcha. So I basically didn't grow up with a father for 10 years straight. Since I'm 6 years old.
So then 17, and then how did you, where did you go after you're 17?
17, I moved to Hanoi for college and lived there. So it was 2012 when I moved to Hanoi, and then I lived there to 2017.
Because like, I'm trying to get because you were born in a mud hut.
Yes, I born in a mud hut.
But how's I'm sure there's somewhat technology and
wasn't electricity in my house when I born.
But how were you into your middle school, cấp 2, cấp 3?
Yeah, so I think back then in my hometown, everyone was poor. Yeah. So you don't even know that you're poor. That's a nice thing about kids. They don't know what is poor and rich, right? And then my dad, I think my mom was working so hard. So we was poor, but we always have food on the table because she's always cooking for construction. So even she don't get paid, but she can get food left over and bring home. So we have good food growing up, even we were poor.
Even though you're poor, were you happy as a kid?
I think I'm happy. I don't know. I think like I said, I think kids simple, and I think I'm happy. But we had a lot of pressure because like mom was. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be emotional, but mom basically a young kid raising two kids, and I never kind of put myself in her. No, yeah, because like few years ago I was her age, right, 27, and I was like, I can't believe at my age she was single mom raising two kids with a lot of pressure from like my father's side. And back then, like when I grow up, even it's only 30 years ago, but in the village, no one left.
Yeah.
So it was like becoming a woman that doesn't have husband around
Yeah.
wasn't easy for her.
Now that years later, are you in touch with your dad?
Dad come back
Yeah.
after 23 years.
Yeah.
So first time he came back, I'm 16 years old.
Yeah.
He left when I'm 6, come back when I'm 16. And then he come back every 2 years. He came back for like a month. Yeah. So it's like the reason he didn't came back because you know, because you born with an immigrant parent, and you know
Okay.
that to afford a flight back to Vietnam or even just getting a job in a country that where you don't speak the language wasn't easy. So
Where did your dad go?
he was immigrant to Hungary. Hungary wasn't. He said Hungary didn't have a lot of job. Thank you.
You got eye booger. Hungary. That
Yes.
is wow. So what did he do in Hungary?
He tried to cross the border
Okay.
to get to Czech Republic and cross the border to get Poland.
Okay. Growing up, when your dad came home, would it be like a stranger, or did you have like a close connection every time he came back?
The first time, definitely a stranger, cause I wasn't used to having a father around, right? And for 6 years old, if I don't have a father, and then I don't really need the father, cause mom was there all the time. I need a father, but I didn't know that what it's like to have a father around. Yeah.
So then, growing up, you're happy, 16, because you didn't know, right? You only
Yeah.
And then you went to university. So what? Because I know from a village standpoint, going to Hanoi is a lot of money, right?
Yeah, a little bit money. Yeah.
So was that like a big step for you to like need I help, like out of sight? Because you said no one goes out of the. Most people stay in the village.
Yeah, like for my parent generation,
Yeah.
no one left. But for my generation, I think my mom would try her best to give me the education and extra tutorings. She was a farmer, but we didn't do anything in the farm. I don't know to do anything because she just make sure that we stay in the class, doing the homework, go to extra classes. I was a good student, and I think I can feel that she wanted. So I didn't want disappointed her. So my sister didn't like school at all and don't even care. But I was just always make sure that I was the first one in my class. I was had to pass exam and just be one of the kids that she can proud. I'm kind of that one.
And how was your time in Hanoi? Were you the first one in your family to leave?
No, my cousin, everyone was just such a good. Like the thing is like this. If you born and raised in Vietnam, because I'm a local, right? If you the people come from Central, they work harder, either education or job wise.
Interesting.
Because we were so poor. Because every single year, Central Vietnam is affected by like natural disaster, typhoon and storm and flooding. Is that correct? Yeah. So it's like the typhoon and the storm coming and take everything you have. So we know we grow up poor because of that. So it's like people from Central Vietnam work hard to get out and go somewhere. That's kind of like, and then also it's like when you go to grow up in my hometown or even my province, it's not much going on. So in my generation, everyone was looking forward to go somewhere. And back the day or even now in Vietnam, education probably is still the biggest way to have a better life. So my mom, her goal was just get us education, go to college somewhere, get a job. That's what she wants.
So where did you go to school in Hanoi?
So I studied banking and finance.
Very typical. Like
Very typical.
it's either you work
No, actually,
in...
my decision.
Really?
Yes, because I was very passionate, wanting to become a TV host
Yes.
when I was 14.
So why banking?
But because I grew up poor and I saw that, I think in my mentality back then it looked like a glamour job. It looked like you had to have a beautiful clothes, and as a girl you have the accessory, and must be cost a lot of money. So I was thinking I need to make money before I can follow my passion. So I go to banking and finance because that's all I can think.
Interesting. Interesting.
And I quit.
How many years after?
3 years. In my third year I quit.
But did you... So you finished school and then you...
Yeah, finished high school,
And then that helped, huh?
get into college. That helped.
Wait, did you finish?
I didn't. I quit in my third year.
You dropped out.
I dropped out my first college.
What did your mom think?
I keep it secret. So I dropped in 2015, and I let her know 5 years later.
So what made you drop out though?
I always want to go out and get a job. So I started working when I was 18, which is very not typical for Vietnamese student back then, because all my friends were just stay in college and do their normal thing. But I working in coffee shops and just like be a server and become a barista and do everything. So, and then my biggest passion is still MC. I still want to become one of that. I don't know what is that.
So tell us, how did you get your first MC gig?
So back then, I don't know now anymore, but back then it's the biggest competition in Vietnam for young people to step in, like if you don't have any experience, to step in that television area is to join a contest called Cầu Vồng MC, kind of like Rainbow MC, the biggest one for young people. And I didn't get in when I was 18 because my application is one page. Didn't have a lot of experience, just fresh out the village and go to big city. So second one, I still don't have a lot of experience, but I learned to tell my story by each question, and I got in application, and my mother was hated it. My mother know that I going to attend that contest. We didn't talk for months.
Because you decided to do something you liked?
Yeah, no, because I didn't focus on studies. And with her, that's all she wants. Even for me, working in coffee shop was something that she wasn't happy at all. That's why we kind of start, I don't know, conflict, I guess so. And then to the point that I had to write her a letter to say that, hey, listen, I love you, but I want to live my life and I want to take the full responsibility for my life. And she didn't help me anything with my contest, and I need money to buy dress and shoes and stuff. So I called dad and I say, Dad, I need 10 million to joining this. And he will quietly send me, I think it's about 400 US dollar. Yeah, so I can able to join. By the way, it was overwhelmed. It was so much people there. I stepped in Vietnam television facility and everyone just was like going in a Miss Universe contest with high heel, and they were look gorgeous. And I was just with my, I don't know, just the shoes and a dress that I just bought. And I was just, I came in with full confidence. I was like, I was thinking, the night before, I literally had to sleep on the floor because I was mad at my mother. She came to Hanoi to stay with her for a little bit. And I didn't talk to her. I go in the contest. I actually end up crying in the end of the contest because I got in top 20 of the country.
And this comes from like having no experience being like
no
MC.
Experience. Yes, no, just a tiny little bit. Just hosting a kind of very small event in the college is where I start. Yeah.
So eventually you won.
I didn't win
You
at all.
didn't
I
win.
didn't win. I just I think I get into top 15 of the country,
Yeah.
and it's about more than 1,000 people to join that from north and south. Even for me, I think I had to pass almost 500 people in the, is that called audition round to get into top 10.
So then, from that experience, you're able to be on VTV.
No, not really.
No.
Not really. So from there, you kind of got not really a frame, but you got something out of that, that people recognize you. And I don't know, I was hooked up with different friends and try and get a MC job for like opening hair salon
Mm.
and standing in like not supermarket but malls and talking about products and stuff like that and get paid $15 for 3 hours. That's where I start. Yeah, and just keep climbing up.
Wow. So it didn't happen overnight. Like you
No,
were,
no.
you had to like climb through the
Yes.
ladders.
You had to make from $10 and keep raising to $20 and $40 and $150, and I want to make good money in that.
So then, how did you eventually land your first big national? Like you're on TV.
Yes, I got on a VTV2. I think came out from that competition is you kind of got the connection with the television people because you was with them in during the contest, and then you get know people and you stay contact as a friend. So one of the friends also, this is like this competition is generation and mine is what like third or fourth generation. So one of the senior from the two generation before me was hosting a travel show, and she's what call me, I can't remember, but she would say, I think you're good for this role. So I was have a chance to partner with VTV and working for travel show, go travels and also talk about food and culture and stuff like that. And I think I was 19 or 20. You know what? I was always a kid that,
Rebelled.
what's that rebel mean?
Fight back.
Yes, always.
Yeah.
I know that I don't know who got in me. You know, I have no idea because my entire family is very instruction.
Yeah.
Is that correct way?
I'm not sure.
Instruction is like you have to do things like that.
Okay.
My mother's kind of same way because I think when you have kid when you was 21 you don't know better, so you do the same what people tell you. You followers, right? And somehow I have no idea what is God in me, but I'm always like, you know what? It's my life. I'm gonna do whatever I want.
I don't want to play by the rules.
Yes,
I'm gonna make my own rules.
I'm gonna make my own decision,
Yes,
and I'm gonna take a fully responsibility for my life. And I was 15 or 16 when I think like that.
Because that's very like anti-typical here. Because it's like usually the kids would like they listen and they and they're not
Yeah.
gonna like talk back. Because
I don't
in
need-
Vietnamese culture,
Yeah,
you talk back is very bad.
yeah. I don't think I talk bad. I talk back, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna do different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might not talk back, but I'm gonna do exactly what I want.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know what.
So you had that when you were young.
Yes,
Okay.
I get that. Like I mentioned, I was always a confident kid.
Wow.
Even we didn't grow up with a lot, but I think one thing is because I didn't have a father around, so I'm always had to stand up for myself. So because of that, people tend to grow in two different directions in their hard circumstances. It's they can be shy and introvert, right? Or they can be screaming, and I will go on the screaming direction.
So, how long were you in Vietnam for then? Before you decided I'm gonna leave?
22.
22.
I just turned 22 is when I left Vietnam.
And this is while you're doing very well
Yes,
in
super
the
well.
showbiz.
Super well.
Yes.
I was just like, I've been work hard for over 3 years,
Yes.
and I kind of like earned my spot. I was from making $10 for 3 hours to
You can talk in Vietnam currency.
$10, like 250,000 for 3 hours
Really? Okay.
show. To I make 5 million. 5 million is about $200 for 3 hour shows, for example. But back 2017 is a lot because, like for now, a kid in coffee shop like this making about 25,000 to 30,000 in your videos. But back then we would make 7,000 to 10,000, and I was make 5 million for per show. And I decided to give up all that to go somewhere else, and people were thought I was crazy,
Yeah.
and I'm crazy.
But then you were making good money.
I'm making good money. I'm making great money.
So then what made you like, okay, bye-bye Vietnam?
I think I was so young and then working in a very high pressure and competitive environment, and I wasn't have a chance to kind of like knowing myself, and then also just I don't know. I feel like it's also being 20, 21, 22, and dealing with politics behind the job wasn't fun for me. I am very straightforward. I'm not the kids, but people also think that I'm the Thảo Mai person.
What's that mind?
Thảo Mai means two-faced or too overly nice. No, the best way to say it properly, overly nice. But I wasn't. My mother was super sweet. It doesn't matter how sweet I am. I cannot get to her level. And I just always that kind of person. I just like if I meet you for the first time, or I just want to be sweet with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, even I'm Thảo Mai, but I wasn't fit. I wasn't found myself fit in that entertainment and showbiz business. Even though I love the job, it's still in the end of the day, being a host is still the job that I enjoy so much because the challenge that you have to, it's very challenging, and I love when I yeah.
So then, where did you go?
So my dad lived in Germany
Oh, okay.
since 2006 or 7, and knowing dad is over there is always something in the back of my head. And um, by that time, like 3 years doing my job in Hanoi and live in a very stressful traffic city, I was just so done. I was just very done. And I was like, I need to go somewhere. I'm so young. I literally want to see what the world look like. And I don't care how, like, how the heck I get there. Because it wasn't easy.
You didn't have a plan. You're like, I just want to get there, and I'll figure it out on the way.
Yeah. So I would think about many different ways. Like au pair being a babysit
Yeah.
in different country is a way for young people travel around. But I want to get in college because I feel like I think I have something in this like communicating space. So I was like, maybe I go somewhere and study PR. So I decided that I want to study PR and I study German because I want to go where my father is, where my dad is. So I studied German.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Ein bisschen. Ich vergesse alles.
How long do you spend in Europe?
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
then where did you go after?
US.
Can you tell us a little bit the choice to US?
So I love Europe. My God. Even though I'm from a very small town, but you like the moment that I step outside the airport and step in that we call that tram in Vienna. So I end up didn't go to Germany. I go to Vienna, Austria,
Okay.
because very hard holding Vietnamese passport and try to go somewhere. You know that. You probably hear so many locals talking about that already. I get to Vienna and study and live there and love it there.
But when made you drop out again?
I just hate school. My God. I
You would
can't
think you learned from the
stand-
first time.
I did. I've always learned in a hard way. I always learn in a hard way.
Okay.
So it's a life decision, and I decided to move to US.
And how long have you been in the States?
From 2018 to early 2023, over 4 years.
4 years. So how was living there? How's life like there?
It was very different, very. When I was in Europe, I didn't feel much different rather than the struggle of language. But in the state,
Wait. Where in the States?
in the middle of nowhere, Indiana,
Indiana?
Midwest,
City? What city?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
Yeah, I don't even can I can't even
what
say
city?
that.
What city? What state?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. That's the city.
Yeah, that's the city.
What's the state?
Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana. Kind of middle of nowhere.
I think it's
I
near
come from middle of
Arizona.
nowhere
Arizona.
and then moved to the middle of nowhere. Kind of like, yeah.
So you always from the Vietnamese side. It's like, oh, you
Yeah.
đi nước ngoài, it's so blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But now you experience America. How was that? How's living there for 4 years?
From the beginning was hard
Yeah.
because I actually come from here,
Yes.
right? So Europe was fun because I think I was still young and just try to figure out what it's like.
Yeah.
And it's much more culture in Europe than US. Sorry. I think that's the first thing that I kind of experienced, that people, it doesn't feel like the sense of community or people actually care.
Yeah.
in the
One's
States.
more about themselves.
I'm not sure about themselves, but it feels cold.
Mm.
It's weather's cold and people seem cold. But that's from the beginning. In the end, I always love it there because I think I find my group of people, old people,
Mm.
because it's like not old like old, like actually old, like our grandparent generation. That actually someone in the state I can sit down and calm and relax and have conversation.
What were you doing for work?
Working in a restaurant because it's like when I'm in the state, I'm still my language was a mess of Vietnamese, German, English. I would speak English in a German way. I would say knife,
Knife.
knife,
Knife.
but German pronounce every single thing
With
and
a
very
K.
strong with a K too.
Wait, what's knife in German?
Pardon me.
What's knife in German?
What's life?
Knife.
Knife? Oh, Schneider.
Schneider.
I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. First time worked for 6 months, and then I'm always like that. Even in Europe, I was working in the restaurant and making money,
Yeah.
and just quit and go travel for a while, and then
Mm.
come back and keep making money in restaurant
So
and
you
keep
were Tay
traveling.
Malo,
Yeah, I was Tây Ba Lô.
but Vietnamese.
Yes, yes. Because I would travel everywhere in Europe as well. Not everywhere, but a lot of places.
So then, towards the end of your 5 years in the States, what made you? We're in Vietnam. How did you get back here? So you would go spend your money a bit at Roots, and then you, from your serving job, and you would make little trips out here to Vietnam.
No, I only working in Rucris for 6 months, I think so. But I think working in Rucris is my pick of decided that I can't be in the state anymore. Anymore. I actually quit before my plan
Yeah.
because I can't handle it anymore.
You can't handle the States.
Yeah, I can't handle the culture over there anymore.
But most Vietnamese people would be like, no, why? It's
I-
so soon. It's like you're living. Most people like wanna go there.
Yeah,
Right?
and to be honest, most people don't know, but like even I work there as a waitress, right? I make great money.
Yeah.
Like I make
How much money are you making a night?
average can be $400 per night.
Wow.
And in the BZC, I was always a good worker and good server, and I can be charming and so I make good money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's hard working. People have no idea. It's super hard working.
So then, like, what made you like? I had enough. Like,
I think this is like kind of my personal experience, but I travel a lot, and I think you can see a society is still great or beautiful if you're working in a restaurant. Restaurant is one of the hardest environment to work in, and you can see how people treating each others and everything. You can see how decay of a society if you're working in restaurant, and if you're working in restaurant in the state, you see it all. It wasn't pretty. Wasn't pretty.
so like outside of the restaurant, like, what did you not like about living in the States?
I'm slowly appreciate being there and having all the convenience and comfort, clean airs. I do appreciate all that, and it's a lot of nice people there too. I meet a lot of nice people, but I just don't feel alive. I was slowly dead inside, and I see I'm less grateful. I'm I'm less grateful. I'm wasting more, and I see that, and then I'm losing my patience anytime I come back Vietnam and I sit down and I'm like, where everyone is, because I'm working at a server too, and we was always have to keep an eye on people, and people walk in 3 seconds, you greet, that all that rules, and I'm in Vietnam, and it's like all that.
Western
Yes,
environment. Yeah.
but I just don't feel that. I love to live in an environment where I have a lot of cultures and sense of community, and I don't feel it over there. So I just feel like I'm slowly dead inside. And whenever I see myself is going black,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
That's
that's
your sign.
dangerous. Yes, I'm like, I need to get out of here because I'm gonna turn to an evil. Seriously, because people wasn't nice. Like some people nice, but you work in an environment, people are lazy, people don't like you because you are hard worker,
Oh, so this is not even like customers. This is like people you're working with.
Yeah, customer, it can become from terrible to fantastic and co-worker as well. So I was stronger, I was strong. As older I get, I also try to be calm and not react right away. I need to have time and digest and also figure out what situation is. But I think the high peak is also I get bullied by one of the manager in the restaurant to the point that I can't be quiet anymore. And I come home and just with that anxiety that just at one point I would just run out of the building or just cry. I would just cry. I can't even remember exactly, but it just happened like that and like that. And I go to the HR and I was I was making like 3 or 5 page of report exactly what going on with that guy every single time. And I think they hear my voice, but they didn't do much. And to the point I fed up, and I'm also I just feel my soul getting dark because when you walk in there, I just want to be a happy person, helping people out and work hard. That's all I want. But one thing I feel, I'm not sure about anywhere, but one thing in the state is like, doesn't mean you want to work hard, you will get appreciated. And I think it's happened in a lot of places, not only in the state, to be fair.
So help us understand, how did you save yourself?
I buy a flight ticket and I move to Vietnam.
And was that the start of your social media?
Yeah.
So
And
tell us
then-
about that. Like, how did that ideas, like, you've been making content for a while.
Yeah.
But like, how did this begin?
I'm always like food is always a big part of my life because like I mentioned, so my mom was a street vendor selling pho and bánh mì and cháo lòng. Cháo lòng, do you know?
Uh,
Intestine porridge.
yes.
And then cháo luon, eel porridge in the market to make a living to raise her.
This is in Hat.
Yeah, in Hà Tĩnh.
Wow.
Yeah, when I growing up. So always growing up having good food, even poor. But I never really had internet until my college. I didn't grow up with internet. That's why I feel like I was lucky because you kind of grow up innocent a little bit. You didn't grow up and get influenced by a lot of stuff.
So you started making content here.
Yes. So sorry. So before I really making the move, I was like, I had to find my own niche. What is my niche? And I love food. Can I able to tell story about food? And then I look at around and I like, is there anyone do about this? And I like Max back then, right? All the big names, Sunny's and Max and Chris and Chad.
But these are all white guys.
Yes, exactly. That's my point. I was like, I love that stuff. No, I do love all the what do you call
Content.
Yes, yes. I love the content, but they all white male foreigner. So I thinking to myself, is it any local voice there? And then remember I come back from my night shift and it was midnight. I'm showering and think, you know what, Leila, you come back Vietnam and you do it. And in the next few years, when they mention about local Vietnamese food, they will remember about you. So that's kind of where I started all that.
So just in a shower one day, you're like, I'm gonna
I've been thinking. I've been thinking and thinking and thinking.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of like địa phương that makes content, but it caters towards more of like the Vietnamese.
Yes, and I know that market is very competitive and they awesome. Like they awesome and they have big followers. So it's not something that I should compete because I can.
So then you started making your content.
Yes, right away.
And then you started doing your tours right away, or no?
No. I was start doing content. I was so ready. I was like, I come back Vietnam and I need to start this because I come back with no job, no education, no skill, nothing. So I was like, I need to start doing it away. And I come back and I come home. I came home and visited my parents for 10 days and I straight Hanoi and doing content. And I didn't expect how hard it was. Because it's like, do everything, whole package, filming, editing and writing and everything. And was it overwhelmed of how not easy it is? And then I also dealing with culture shock at the same time.
Because you spent 5 years.
Because I spent 7 years.
7 years in the States.
Yeah, so I left in 2017 and come back in 2023. Yes, so 7 years. But I come back and visit and traveling a lot.
But you're
it
still on
was
like vacation
different.
mode.
Exactly, exactly. And I wasn't. I mean, I didn't expect it was that hard. I think every single thing bothered me, and in my head I was like, oh, no way it's happened to me. Culture shock, no way. It
You're
probably happened
Vietnamese,
to you.
yes.
But I'm local. I'm born and raised here.
Yes.
You know, but every single thing will bother me, from the air, from the noise, from the comfort, and from the personal space, which it doesn't exist in. I would go out and eat, and the server, they right here, you know, and waiting for me to order. And in my head, I like, can you just leave me alone?
Yeah.
I was just like that.
Content it started popping off. You're just like, okay, I'm gonna upload 10 reels wherever, Facebook, and it started going viral. Or how did it start?
It takes
Like, pick
long times. I think so. I think I almost quit because I didn't. So I've been doing for like 4 months and 5 months and didn't see it pick up at all. So I was like, maybe this is not for me. And then I get into depression before I start picking up. I was like, I'm dealing with culture shock, and I'm like, I'm questioning myself, like, do I have what it takes to do what I want to do? Cause do I have any like editing background and like social media and all that? No, I don't. I'm just basically jumping with all my instinct and do it. So I was having certain 3 months I was in deep in my depression. I was like laying in the Airbnb.
Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, what am I doing? And I'm just staring at the ceiling for days.
Yeah.
And I was just questioning, and I lost all my confidence. And for someone who, like I said, like I'm always a confident kid, but for the first time in my life, I feel like I have nothing. I have nothing. I literally have nothing. I'm nobody, and I don't have any skill at all. And I didn't want to wake up in the morning to face with a day that I'm so lost. I have no direction. I don't believe in myself, and I don't have anything. It was so hard.
So what helped you?
And I think after 4 months like that, and I was like, I'm gonna run out the saving money, because I didn't have a job. I jump in straight in content, right? And I can keep doing like that. And I was like, probably doing something that I'm comfortable with. It's mean I know my city, I know Hanoi very well, and I love food, and I keep doing this food content, and people also ask me like, can I go out with them or not? And I start taking food tour, and but I believe that people saved me in my darkness, because I went out. Do you know what's the feeling of like the eyes is always feel like it and you couldn't open the eyes? That's what depression like make me. I feel like
You don't have the energy.
I don't have anything. I don't have any energy, and I don't know my eyes open or not, but I just always feel like that. And I go out the first tour and I put my outside on because I want to do something special, because that tour is basically for kids, not kids but younger than me. They came from London, and one of them, she's Vietnamese British, and it's her first time in Vietnam. And I would feel so bad, but I want to make sure that she have a good impression of Hanoi and she have a great time.
But she had no idea in the back, like you're going through.
Yeah,
the
they have
darkest time.
no idea that what I'm going through, and I have a fantastic time with them. And I told myself that I think I can do it. And it's slowly going out there and talking to people, because people paying you know. And I'm very professional. It's like if I get paid, I make sure I deliver my best, even I have nothing in me. So I just going out and having great time with people and just slowly feel better. And then also at the same time, even I feel awful, but I have nothing to hold on. So I'm still produce content at the same time I'm depressing.
Because no one knows from that content you look like this very bubbly, energetic person who really knows what they're talking about when it comes to food content.
Thank you. And I think not no one, but I feel like the content environment is very competitive, right? So And I'm not 19 years old who creating content. I'm 29, so I have to think what I put out there in front of people. That's why I mean, I'm a happy person for the most part. I'm a positive person for the most part, but I'm like part-time extrovert. I like my quiet as well.
So millions of views later, are you still depressed? Do you feel like the people have saved you, or are you in a better spot?
I am a incredible spot right now, even though the anxiety is still there here and there. Like if I have a tiny little caffeine, it's gonna come back.
I noticed you didn't get coffee.
I think it's a tea or something, but I asked him for less tea. But anyway, I'm still worried. I don't know.
What do you worry about?
I'm not worried being poor. Worry that no, I'm just kidding. But because I'm do better than most of local here, and I think you know what, being in Vietnam, because I said I didn't feel alive when I'm in the state, but Vietnam, most people have no idea how much energy out there in Vietnam.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes that's too much energy for me. Sometimes,
You
most
need
of the time.
balance. Wait,
Yeah.
so what do you worry about then? When you have your anxiety?
Have you ever had a very bad anxiety?
Yes.
And I think you cannot really explain what it's like. You just knowing that all the worries just come to you, and you can't really physically you can't really control the body, and you just feel very little, and you feel like you don't have ability to do anything.
You're going through a lot of tours now. You're trying to build out your food map of all over Vietnam. What's next for CAV?
I hate this question. I hate this question. I think
It gives you more anxiety.
no, it just I don't know how to answer it. I was like, I'm just trying to live today. Anyway, no, I think I want to be able to mentally strong to keep doing what I'm doing, cause I'm old. I can't run anymore. I just able to walk. You know, the reason I said I'm old because you know what? I think also one of the difficulties I had to face with when I moved back to Vietnam is the social pressure. Because when we in the West, 30 is a baby,
Yeah.
right?
No, we old here. We don't have kids.
I know. And people are questioning why don't we get married and have kids like normal people. And back the day when I was younger, I will argue. But now it's a laugh because I know my culture and I appreciate it. And I appreciate that they saying it. I like it.
But
yeah.
you're like, but you know, like that's not me.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
me. But I won't argue because it doesn't add on anything.
Doesn't do anything.
Doesn't do anything. Yeah. And I love being here.
You didn't answer the question though.
What's the question? Oh yes.
What's next?
What next?
Make more content.
Yes.
Do more tours.
Yeah, keep growing. I guess so. Keep growing and keep growing out of my comfort zone and see how far I can go. I guess so.
Building a team.
Yes, would love to. Like, as a solo content creator, we all know how hard it is. It's not like we're working physically hard, but mentally
It's
not
always
easy.
on.
It's always on.
Always on.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to look into the camera. Look into the camera. And you're not talking to. If you want to book a tour, you can book a tour with her. Learn all about Vietnam. I'm sure there's gonna be a link
Yeah.
in the description.
Make sure you do that.
But look into the camera, and you are your 17-year-old, 16-year-old. You haven't moved from Hatton
It's
yet.
still in the village, huh?
Yeah, still in the
Yeah.
village. What would you tell that girl that's like seeing her single mom, and then dad's not there? Like, what would you want to tell her?
Be kind to the mother.
That's it.
Keep doing what you're doing. Be kind to the mother.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
That's it.
That's it. That's a wrap.